In investigating this issue, I heard one anecdote that really made me think. It's from a conversation with a Black senior enlisted advisor in the Navy. He told me at his rank and pay grade, he's often the only one in the room who looks like him. This is a man who served our country for 31 years, and the situation still causes him to hesitate and think twice.
When I walk into that room, I have to be mentally prepared.
Force Master Chief Hubin Phillips is the senior enlisted member of Task Force 1 Navy, the group just created to focus on systematic bias and racial barriers.
When I'm crafting that email, I have to be mentally prepared that I read it 30 times to ensure there's nothing wrong with that,
His personal experience over the years prepared him for this role.
because I don't want anyone to judge me based off that email because I may not look like them.
So, what do our armed forces look like? According to the Department of Defense, in the Marines, only 10 out of every 100 Marines are Black. In the Navy, 17 out of every 100 sailors are Black. In the Air Force, 15 out of every 100 airmen are Black. And in the Army, 21 out of every 100 soldiers are Black.
As much as I have excelled in the Navy, I've also overcome hurdles. I have personally experienced barriers.
How did we get here? How did we get to a point where there are concerns about diversity within the force?
I mean, let's be clear. We are a reflection of society, and I know that most of our civilian constituents say, "Well, you're in the military, so you should live under a different code." Yes, we do, but we recruit from society.
Even the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff says there's work to do.
Equality and opportunity are matters of military readiness, not just political correctness.
After the death of George Floyd, the Secretary of Defense created a permanent group to focus on diversity and inclusion. He also ordered photos to be removed from selection boards, which is the way the military decides who gets promoted. The goal is to take race out of the equation when making these decisions. That's because the data shows things are even worse when it comes to diversity in higher ranks. Here's what we've uncovered from Congressional Research Service stats. Looking at all the branches, when it comes to the senior enlisted ranks, 63 out of 100 are white, but only 19 out of 100 are Black. The difference is even greater when it comes to senior officers. Almost 88 out of 100 are white, while only 8 out of 100 are Black. That's 11 times more white officers in the military. And remember, these are the people who are making the decisions that affect those who serve below them.
But we are not perfect, and we must thoughtfully examine our institution and ensure it is a place where all Americans see themselves represented and have equal opportunity to succeed, especially in leadership positions.
That gap can lead to bigger problems, according to the nonprofit Protect Our Defenders. Retired Air Force Colonel Don Christensen says it can impact the military justice system. The organization examined 10 years of data and found more racial disparities.
It was disappointing that it was so widespread, so consistent, so persistent.
A report from the Government Accountability Office agrees. The congressional watchdog says, for example, in 3 military services, Black service members were about twice as likely as white service members to be tried in general and special courts martial. Christensen, who also served as a military lawyer, thinks the armed forces needs to diversify at the officer level in order to combat these trends.
People in the officer corps often don't understand the life experience that the Black soldier or airman may bring into the service. They may not as being understanding of any challenges that person has acclimating to the military.
Right now, the path to change continues with conversations at the leadership level and the unit level. The Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force, who is only the second Black man in history to be that branch's top enlisted leader, explains this will be tough.
It doesn't matter if you're Black or white. And it's incumbent upon all of us, certainly those of us in leadership positions, to create a space where people can feel comfortable talking about it.
On Task Force 1 Navy, Phillips believes they have to look at recruiting.
We have to get people who look like me and people who look like other minorities back into our communities and talking about, hey, this is what the Navy can offer you. If we don't increase our base, we're never going to reach that level of diversity and inclusion that we need to have.
And this is what he hopes for in the end.
A Navy that my kids, who are 20, 21, 13, and 14 say, hey, Dad, I want to go in the Navy. And I say, you damn right you do. Because I know that is that premier organization for inclusion and diversity.